All right, folks, what is going on? This is episode 766 of the First and Frame Rate Show. I am VF Baller. Over here, we talk about Georgia Southern and Atlanta Falcons football. And I want you guys to know that there's a possibility, a very high possibility at this point, in my opinion, that the Falcons may not get that Jaguars second round pick. Yeah, I know if Calvin Ridley does re-sign with the Jaguars, we will get a second round pick. He's covered all of the other parameters for us to get a third round pick. But there's something in this clause or in the wording of this this deal that may throw everything out of whack. So we're going to talk about that, give my thoughts and opinions, and just go from there. So if this is your first time here, welcome. I can be found on YouTube and Rumble. I am also on Spotify, Apple, and Google Podcasts. Google Podcasts will be gone by the beginning of April. Just a heads up, so everything will be over the YouTube podcast. And if you want to watch the show, you can watch it on Spotify and Rumble. And if you want to listen to the show, just listen without the visuals. Is on Apple and YouTube podcast. So thank you everybody who's been watching and enjoying. I really appreciate it. If you don't mind, hit the like button. Let people know what we're doing over here. And I appreciate you guys. All right, let's just go ahead and get right into this. Well, we all know about the Calvin Ridley trade. Calvin Ridley was traded from the Atlanta Falcons, and he was traded to the Jaguars. I think it was for, I think it was like a fourth round pick or something like that. And he had to make these parameters to make it a third round pick. And I think he had to be over 1,000 yards and he had to catch over 75 catches. Well, he passed that. So we got the third round pick from him. Now, the second round pick is tricky. This is what we were all banking on when he signed. Like, look, he's going to, be that guy. He's going to be the guy that he was the year that he caught over 1,000 yards with Atlanta. He's going to be that dude, and the Jaguars not going to let him go. Now, this is the problem. He can return to the Jaguars. He can even be re-signed, and we don't get their second round pick. Now, this is how it works. Now, they can extend him, but the problem is they can give him an extension after the league year begins on March 13th, which is a little bit less than a month away. So what that means is if the Falcons, well, not the Falcons, sorry, if the Jaguars decide to wait until March 13th at 4 p.m., wait after that to sign him, they will keep their second round pick. So that right there that could be an issue. I don't know how that was slipped through the cracks when it came through making this deal. Not very smart not very smart on the Falcons, in my opinion, but it's not like anything that they could have done. I mean, that's just how free agency works. Once free agency, starts, and after, once the league year begins, pretty much, I guess all bets are off when it comes to an extension. I don't know, but it technically won't be an extension because the new year begins. It's basically like they're making him a free agent and then he'll just resign, even though he's a free agent. Now, if they extend him before March 13th, that means they're really extending him by the letter of the roster. He's on the roster. We're going to extend him with the contract. He's good. He's extended. But if they let him go March 13th at 4 p.m., he's a free agent. He can still go out and look at other options when it comes to other teams, but they probably could have something in place to say, hey, we're going to wait till such and such time. You can go and talk to somebody else, but we got this deal in place already, and all we'll do is wait till like March 14th to re-sign him, and they'll keep their second round pick. To be quite honest, if I were the Jaguars, I probably would do that. And I hate to sound like that because I want that second round pick. That second round pick could be really, really helpful for the Falcons, but we already got a third round for him. And the Jaguars are probably like, look, we don't want to move up give them a whole nother round pick. We can use that second round pick for something else. So this is a real big situation that we may want to keep our eyes on because we may not get that pick. Just because of the fact that the Jaguars just want to keep their draft capital. And in a sense, I don't blame them. Do I like it? No. But do I blame them? No, I don't blame them either. So what does that mean for the Falcons? Well, there's been reports out already that the Falcons may be going after Kirk Cousins once again. And heard this earlier this year, 2024 that is. Heard it earlier this year as far as him probably being linked to the Falcons if he leaves the Vikings. He's going to want a lot of money. I'm not a fan of it. I do want the talent because I think he can play, but I don't know. To me, I feel like the Falcons should just go ahead and do what they can to probably just go into the draft and get their quarterback through the draft. Now, I know that this whole Justin Fields thing is going on. Now it's Kirk Cousins. Not too much talks about Russell Wilson anymore. They're still out there, but not as much as it was, even though there's reports about that. He sold his house, but okay, cool. But nevertheless, we're looking at a situation where there are 3 quarterbacks that are out there that people keep talking about the Falcons. So the Falcons gonna do this, the Falcons gonna do that. And they have another situation to where we just may go on the draft. Now, I believe personally, if we were to get this pick from Calvin Ridley, from the Calvin Ridley trade, if it becomes a second round pick, I would say this. I would probably entertain not only getting Justin Fields or Kirk. I really want to go after Kirk. I would entertain going after Justin Fields. I'm not saying I want him, but I would look into it just to see what the temperature's like. But like I said, I think they should go on a draft. Now, if they don't feel confident in the draft, there may be some other options. They may just try to snipe another quarterback from another team. Like, look, we got a second round pick. We'll give you a first next year. Let's go ahead and do this, and they'll get like one of the top veterans that's in the game now, or not just a veteran, just one of the top quarterbacks that a team feel like they can, get rid of. Like, look, we'll give you a second this year and first round next year, and we'll take, quarterback X. Now, there's no quarterback that I say like, yeah, I'll do it, but it's just you want to have all options out there. Just put all your options out there, just see what's there. But first priority is to get a quarterback, and I think, in my opinion, I think they should go in the draft. Possibly move up. It might cost a lot to move up. You could probably get Michael Penix. Even if you don't want to get him at 8, you could probably get another team to trade with you and get some more draft capital, go out of the first round and still get Michael Penix. That's a possibility. But I think at the end of the day, they just need to find a way to get their franchise quarterback. And I think that's the main thing. And I don't think Kirk Cousins, I'm not big on Russell Wilson, and Justin Fields, I'm not really big on him either as far as franchise quarterbacks. But if you want to take a spin on any of them, it shouldn't cost that much. And you should still try to get your quarterback through the draft. It just goes without saying, because any of these 3 guys that I just mentioned, they're short-term solutions. Even Justin Fields at the age of 25, I believe he's a short-term solution. I don't think he's anything that will keep this team afloat for the next 10, 12, 14 years. You got to understand, he could possibly, Fields could possibly play till he's 39. He's only 25. But you think he's going to be franchise quarterback material for us? I'm not really sure. But, like I said, if you get that second round pick from Calvin Ridley, and if you get that second round pick, you may want to start to entertain a look at other quarterbacks in the league who some teams may feel like, look, it's a pretty good deal. We may give up, that pick for him. You just never know. Just put it out there and see who wants what. But I don't think it'll happen. But it won't hurt to put it out there in the air and see who bites. But what I would say at the end of the day, go in the draft and get your quarterback. Go into the draft, get your quarterback. This whole Kirk Cousins thing, I get it. He's experienced, but I'm not really sure about that. He's kind of cut from the same cloth as what these other quarterbacks that, Raheem Morris and Zach Robinson have dealt with. I get it, but no, I just don't see it. I don't. Justin Fields, he's younger, so that's more appealing. But I don't think he's going to be the quarterback that we would want for the team. And there's too much baggage with Russell Wilson, man. It's just too much. So go in the draft, get who you want, and At the end of the day, man, this may be a situation where we may have no choice but to go into the draft because we may not get the second round pick. I mean, unless the Jaguars feel like they're going to lose Calvin Ridley to free agency, they're probably going to sign him prior to March 13th. Now, I'll say this before I get out of here. If I'm another team that needs a receiver, I would try my best to get his services. He's a damn good receiver. He had a misstep when he was in Atlanta. He got suspended. We all make mistakes. I don't know how the extent of the mistake was, but he's shown that he can bounce back and he's done some good things. So I feel that they're going to have to make a decision. If he gets another offer from another team, they may have to sign it beforehand. And if they do, we do get that second round pick. And everything that I talked about could be back on the table. I know some people don't want to think about that, but if I do get that second round pick, I would just start branching out my limbs and branching out the tree limbs and see who will bite. Any quarterback in this league, and I'm serious about any quarterback. I would go and see, like, dead serious. Give me that Calvin Ridley pick. You go get me a Josh Allen or something. I'm serious. I will call Buffalo. I got a second round pick. I'll give you a couple of first rounds picks, and let's do it. I would call damn near every team that has a quarterback that's young and prominent and make things happen. Justin Herbert. I know Patrick Mahomes is not going nowhere. Lamar Jackson, he's not going. But I would just make the call and just see. Because I'm not saying that we should do it, but put it out there. You just never know what may happen. But nevertheless, I know there's going to be some people who are going to be disagreeing. That's fine. I mean, Atlanta Falcon fans, when do we do? Most of them don't agree most of the time anyway. But it's fine. But that's just my thoughts and opinions. So if you like this commentary, hit the like button, share this podcast, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Let me know what you guys think. Do you think that the Falcons get the second round pick? I'm not sure, man. They may not get it. They may not. Because if they try that loophole business and say, hey, we got a deal in place, but we're going to wait till the 14th of March to sign you, we're not going to get it. So that has to be something. The only thing that we can lean on is if another team comes in and say, hey, we want him too, and make them force their hand to sign him. So we'll see. I'll be found on YouTube and Rumble. Also on Anchor, Spotify, Apple, and Google Podcasts. Follow me on X at VFBaller. The website's firstandframerates.com. If you want to support the show, Cash App and PayPal links are below, and I really appreciate you guys. All right, y'all. I'm going to get out of here. Y'all take it easy, and y'all be blessed. Peace.